In the Serbian village of Rudnica, authorities resumed the exhumation of Albanians killed during the conflict over Kosovo. More than 1,700 people are still missing from the war of the late 1990s. Many of them are believed to be buried at a mass grave in Rudnica, which lies close to the border with Kosovo. In Afghanistan, the Electoral Media Commission fined a string of media outlets for allegedly violating election coverage laws ahead of the April 5th presidential poll. At a Kabul news conference, the commission said 13 television channels and 1 radio station were penalized. The fines ranged from $90 to $1,310. In Azerbaijan, the parents of jailed pro-democracy activists ended a 5-day hunger strike. The 8 youth activists from the NIDA movement were detained last year on charges of plotting anti-government protests. They face up to 8 years in jail. Amnesty International has recognized them as prisoners of conscience. In Pakistan, authorities razed a slum neighborhood in Islamabad as part of efforts to bolster security in the city. The slum was located near a market where a bomb blast killed at least 20 people earlier this month. Many slum residents say they are now homeless. In Russia, celebrated literary critic and Soviet literature historian Benedikt Sarnov was buried in Moscow. Friends and admirers gathered in the Central House of Literature to pay their respects. Sarnov's latest books describe relations between Soviet leader Joseph Stalin and Soviet-era writers, many of whom Sarnov knew personally. In Armenia, veterans of the Nagorno-Karabakh War rallied against the government's failure to provide them with venues for their assemblies. The protesters marched to the office of the ruling Republican Party in Yerevan, where they threatened to hold their meetings from now on. In the Georgian capital of Tbilisi, a book fair was held to celebrate World Book and Copyright Day. The event, which took place at the Shoto Rustaveli Theater, offered books at reduced prices. One organization called Friends of Books collected books to distribute to people living in Georgia's mountainous regions or abroad. In Kyrgyzstan, Bishkek residents also marked World Book and Copyright Day with an open-air book show. Kyrgyzstan has less than 10 local publishers. The number of bookshops in the capital has also declined 5-fold since the collapse of the Soviet Union. And that's the video roundup from Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty.